So when people think of Abram in the Bible, most of us don't think of him as a warrior. Most of us just are reminded of the story where the Lord promised him um, descendants that would amount to the stars in the sky, and we think about um, Isaac and Ishmael, and Sarah and Hagar, and what happened between in that whole situation. But Abram, okay, he was a warrior with very, very skilled and trained servants. And most people, when they think of servant, because he had over 300 servants, um, people just tend to think of servants. You know what I'm saying? Bring me some dinner, clean my house, and stuff like that. No, 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 no. This man, Abram, his servants were skilled, trained warrior fighters. Now, you will have to go back to Genesis chapter 14 to read all about it, but I'm going to summarize it. So, in chapter 14 of Genesis, there was a battle of the kings. Okay. Abraham was not a king, he did not have a kingdom. Okay. Keep that in mind. There was a battle of the kings, and a bunch of kings from one place got together against a bunch of kings from another place, and they all started battling. Okay. So at the conclusion of the battles, right, there was a king called Cataleamor, and he, with other kings, basically won. I'm going to say that. And Sodom and Gomorrah fell there because they were fighting against Sodom and Gomorrah, the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah and some other people, right? They all fled into the mountains, okay? So King Cataleamor and the rest of the kings, right? They took all the goods. This is verse 11. They took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And verse 12 says, and they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. So they took everything. After they won, they took everything, right? They even took Abram's nephew. Was it? Abram was like, who you took? Who you took? Oh, you took my nephew? Oh, wait. So now y'all know Abram was a Hebrew, right? So one of the people escaped who was captive by the other king. They escaped, came back, and told Abram, "Yo, they got your nephew," right? So Abram got bucked. While Abram was like, "Hold up, let me get my people. Hold on." So Abram had over 300. Wait, he had 318 servants. Okay, and he armed his trained servants. Keywords: Abram armed his trained servants. Those armed, trained servants were servants who were born in his house. So basically, he knew them for sure enough. And they were like family. Armed, trained servants. So, yo, listen. These wasn't just anybody. He took them all and trained them. They were ready. They stayed ready. Abram, like a military leader, like a general or something, right? He was like, this is what we gonna do. This is verse 15. He divided himself against his enemies, and he and his servants by night went over there and took them out. Then they chased him to another area, which is on the left hand of Damascus. So, yo, not only did they go and surround more than one people, more than one, okay? They chased them out, right? He brought back, this is just with 318 people, okay? He brought back all the goods and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods and the women also and the people. Yo, he went there and rescued everybody that was taken and everything while kicking tail and taking names. So then the king of Sodom came and peeked his head back out, right? In verse 17, went out to meet Abram after his return from the slaughter of King Chedorlaomer, right? And all the rest of the kings that was with King Chedorlaomer. Then this is when Melchizedek comes in. King of Salem brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which has delivered your enemies unto your hand." And he gave him tithes of all. So I don't know if y'all actually caught that right there, but Abram, who was not a king and didn't have a quote unquote military, okay, did not have, it was only one, him and his servants, his trained servants who were like a military, okay, 300 something of them went up against multiple kings, multiple peoples, slaughtered them suckers, got his nephew back along with all his nephew's stuff, all the goods, brought back all the people, not just Lot. He brought back all the folks that was carried off. Okay? The women, the goods, everything. And it was because God was with him. God was with him. So then, right, after Melchizedek blesses him, right? The king of Sodom come through and tells Abraham, "Give me the people and take the goods to yourself." And Abram told the king of Sodom, "I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take a thread, even a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I made you rich." So basically, let me translate that. Abraham looked at the king of Sodom and was like, "I ain't taking nothing from you, homie. You want to know why? Because you going to turn around and try to say you did this for me. No, you ain't do crap for me. God did. Okay? So I ain't going to give you that. No, I ain't taking nothing from you." So not only was Abram wise and faithful, right? But he was a freaking leader, warrior, and everything. You weren't about to take nothing from Abram. What? So whenever you go back and you think about Abram/Abraham, right? Don't just think of him in one way. This man, okay? This man, God loved. This man, God delivered kings. God delivered kings into this man's hand. Okay? Picture that. Picture that. Yeah, he took them all out. Him and his trained servants. And when you think about Abram's servants, don't think of them as, no. It shows how he took pride in who was born in his house. And he trained them. Abram was a bad dude. Bad in a good way. He was a bad dude.